Corey Holcomb, Quentin's favorite.
Oh
Uh,
Lord.
so Corey Holcomb pulled up the Cam Newton show, and he was talking Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Now, a lot of people may not be familiar with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, but Dr. Cheyenne Bryant went viral on Nick Cannon's platform and Cam Newton's platform when she was holding Cam Newton accountable, and Nick Cannon accountable. And then on top of that, a lot of people were reacting to the fact that they were saying that she read Cam Newton, and then they created a little bit of friction in his own relationships because of the way that he decided that he wanted to live his life, so on and so forth. So recently, Cam had Corey Holcomb on a platform, and around the 2 hour and 24 minute mark, I think that's when they brought up the doc, the good doc. So we're gonna try to scrub over to that really quickly.
You gonna talk about smashing?
I didn't hear it. People sent it to me, so I figured it's worth a listen.
This shit gonna get disrespectful.
You think so?
Hell yeah.
All right, so it's around this mark.
Tracks that lifestyle when it comes to their children being impacted. That's why I'm like, bro, you can't do that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
So that's my point.
That's why I don't talk about certain things that I can't stand on. Like most of the stuff I say, I can stand on it. I mean, I've made a couple of mistakes, but as I'm getting older, I'm getting smarter. The stuff I say, I'm gonna stand on it. But as we talk a lot, we make mistakes.
Yes, sir.
When you talk a lot, you know you're gonna put your foot in your mouth sometimes.
For sure.
So you have to have the courage and manhood, manpower to say, you know what? I can't stand on that. I said it, but I can't stand on that woo, woo, woo. You get what I'm saying? But also, you said some boss ass shit. It's some boss ass shit that Cam Newton, who's retired from football, now has an outlet for different things to be said.
For sure.
And people are watching because of the magnetic attraction you have.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's what I think you should lead with.
No, I think what's important is a lot of people don't use their situation to inspire, impact, or just give perspective. And sometimes it does create friction, personal friction. And I'm not gonna sit up here and act like, yo, what Dr. Bryant said and didn't affect my relationship with my baby mother, number one, baby mother, number two, or even with my situation that I'm with now. But what is to come from that is, I don't want my platform to be fake.
Well, why would you call her a doctor, brother? I'm not saying your platform is fake at all. I'm just saying, when somebody say Dr. Bryant, it irks me. Where's her colleagues? Where's she a doctor at? Because I've done the research.
And it was what?
I don't see doctor nowhere. If somebody is a doctor, they will be proud to show you, I'm a doctor. She can't do it. She just says it. This is a fantasy that woman is living. I mean, like, you don't see everybody to see you, Sister Bryant. We know it's a girl you call your bodyguard, but we know it's more to it than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here in the streets. So I can't say what this girl is that you call in your little security sometimes, but you know what I'm saying? There's people who know y'all and they talk. So, and all this doctor stuff, I mean, come on. Where is the proof that you're a doctor? Can you just do that online instead of all of the glamour videos with all the makeup on and everything? Show us you're a doctor and how you became a doctor and how you practice being a doctor. You're just doing internet talk like everybody else, except you wanted to put doctor on your name. Prove to me you're a doctor so I can eat crow and apologize. But don't come with that little nonsense online shit. That ain't gonna work on me, I know. And all that low vibrational women stuff, you used to work at the strip club, right? I would ask her that. She's talking about low vibrational women. And even if that was a time when she's not doing that now, she talked about the things that she's done to men and how she kicks up dust with men on purpose that so-called love her. And I never saw the end of y'all video until my girl showed me this.
Which one?
When you hit her with that 50 Cent shit and she was stuck, it was classic, but that's not promoted.
But that
Because she praised 50 Cent because there's opportunity maybe there for her. Now, this ain't no diss to 50 Cent. 50 Cent, you know, he walked up to her and like, as she said, he was like, you're amazing or whatever. We know how the game go, but she wouldn't say nothing bad about 50 Cent because that opportunity might not be gone yet. But when
With that being said, and we know who Corey Holcomb is, right? I got a couple questions. Number one, should we value people's opinion that may have a past and then say, well, their life experiences is validating their opinion, such as a Dr. Cheyenne Bryant? And then on top of that, do women then change based off of the opportunity costs that come along with the men that they associate themselves with? So it's okay for her to hold maybe a Cam Newton or Nick Cannon accountable, but then depending on what her objective is, what maybe a 50 Cent, a woman will change her position and her stance on on holding a dude accountable that may be in the same position.
No,
Is any of what Corey Holcomb saying is true to y'all?
no,
Objection.
no,
Compound
nothing.
question.
Nothing he's saying is truthful until he take them fucking clothes off. You can't come on there dressed like Soul Train Awards and wear that bullshit and think I'm gonna take you fucking serious. This nigga was bugging. Like this nigga was bugging, but no, man. Like he got to show that he did the research too. He got to show receipts. He can't just go up there and say that shit. You know what
Why
I'm
does
saying? He
he have
got
to
he
show receipts that she's a doctor? Why does he have to do that?
because he's the one. He like nobody else questioned it.
How do
Nobody
you
else
show
was like,
receipts that someone's not a doctor? How do you do that?
But isn't she isn't she
bruh.
like
Oh,
a
she's
life
a she.
coach? She's not a doctor. She's not like a therapist, like a
Well, it says that she
PhD.
has her It says that she has her doctorate in psychology. The only thing is she got it. I mean, this isn't her fault, but she got her doctorate from a school or Gassi University, which closed down in 2019.
So no one could prove
Who's
it.
that man?
That's I'm
Shit.
not invalidating her degree,
Yes, you
but
motherfucking are, nigga. I got a doctor
She
from
said
St.
Phoenix
Gregory. That
University.
motherfucker ain't here no more either.
I mean, you still, even if she got her degree from a university that's still open, you still wouldn't be able to prove it because you can't pull nobody else's transcripts without their permission, right?
Yeah,
But
she can. Yeah, you can't prove it. She would have to do it. You can't prove someone's not a doctor. But
but you can prove that someone has a doctorate. You're in a so my cousin is has a doctorate and she's a therapist, and they have a database. Like you can literally just pull them up, just like you can do an MD.
Yeah,
That's
but
why I'm like,
you would have to know what school that they went to and stuff like that in order to do so.
no, they have a license number. So my
Oh, you
cousin
talking
said
about?
because
well, everyone who does a doctor or have a doctorate doesn't have a license number.
That's true too, because you can
if
get a
she's
doctorate
no
degree.
okay, she
You can
said,
get
but
a doctorate degree without necessarily
she
being.
said she has clients. So if she has clients,
But a
then
client could
she
be a
should
life
have.
coach. It could be just be a life coach.
Well, okay, so that's what I was about to say. I was about to say, my cousin told me that how some of these girls get around it is that they go and say, well, I'm going to do life coaching. Life coaching, you don't need anything because you're not supposed to be giving them advice. But if she's over there giving them advice, you're supposed to have a licensing number for it. So, so is she really a doctor or like, I don't know.
I mean, you could be
but
Dr. Dre, right?
if you gonna slander
Dr. Dre is a
someone,
doctor, right?
but if you gonna
I
slander somebody, you
oh,
should
go
at
ahead,
least
go
have
ahead.
receipts.
Well, the
If you
thing
gonna
about it
slander
is,
somebody, have receipts.
well, I
That's
mean,
all I'm
but
saying.
that he a comedian, so Corey Holcomb and them, they got a different standard, right? But forget the doctor part. Let's skip over that. Is what she's saying valid, or does she need to further qualify herself to be able to say some of the things that she's saying? I guess the question that I'm asking is, does it matter if it's true or not who the truth comes from?
Yes, because just because you're a doctor don't mean shit. You can be a piece of shit, ain't shit doctor. Like you being a
Well,
doctor for whatever she has, it just said you went to a school for a long time and you passed the shit. Really, if you want to be for real about it. But no, given her previous life experiences, I wouldn't listen to a damn thing this woman had to say.
Well, I wouldn't say that it invalidates it or validates it per se. I mean, I think it depends on what the person is saying and in what context. But in general, I think that you may benefit from anything that anybody says. You just have to use your own judgment and filtering system to kind of eat the meat and spit out the bones. So, I mean, because one of the things that she had said to what's his name, to uh
Cam,
Cam, a part of what she said to him, I kind of agreed with her, but it wasn't because she's a doctor or because she's whoever, because I hadn't even heard of her before seeing her on the show. It was just because I agreed with her point, one of her points. But I do think that some people, purely because of the title doctor, purely because of the programming, will take more heed to what somebody might say purely because they have that title.
What's more important, your credentials or your background?
Your background, because well, my father always says, "What do you call a doctor who was at the bottom of his class?" And it's like a doctor,
Yeah.
but I don't want him, operating on me. So yeah, I think that your experience definitely for me is way more substantial than you just got this title. Especially these days when you can get a title so easily in a lot of different industries.
But the therapist thing though is you have to have a set number of hours. You have to have done certain type of classes. And I mean, like, I watched my cousin go through a lot of it. Like, my cousin is like 45 now. So she's like been doing it for a while, and she's just getting to a certain point. Cause with doctors, it takes a while. So yeah, like, to me, you how would you be able to give advice if you don't know actually what you're going to be giving advice on? Right? If you want to put yourself in that professional sphere, like, as a friend, like, we all can use our experiences and as a human and give your advice. But if you're going to tout that you're a doctor and you're doing this, well, then there's certain things that have to come with it, certain credentials. Like, everybody knows a handyman, right? But if you're going to say I'm a plumber, yeah, I'm going to need to see certain credentials.
why?
Why? Because if you're saying you're a plumber, right? Then I want to see certain credentials before I let you touch my items. But if you're a
I agree with
handyman,
that. I agree with that.
then it's on
But it's
me
different though.
if you mess up my stuff,
It's different.
because I'm taking a chance on you knowing what you say you know.
It's different though. I think it's different when you're using it in that context. I agree with you. But the reason that it's different is because if I call a person and I say, "Hey man, I need you to go and work on this," these pipes or whatever. Usually a handyman they may know what they're doing. They may have been doing it for a long time. But are they
Mhm.
are they licensed? Are they insured? And can they pull a
No,
permit?
nigga, they grandpa's homeboy who been doing this shit since he was 3, and
Exactly.
that
So
nigga
if they
did the
can't
whole neighborhood's pipes.
if they can't pull a permit, then I can't
So
use
did
you
he?
to do certain, like, you can do some handyman work, but you can't work on this big project because the city requires you to be licensed, bonded, insured, and they also need your credentials in order to be able to pull a permit, right?
Yep.
So in that instance, true. But the problem with this conversation is that it's different when you're talking about relationships. Like, even when we talk about therapists, I don't think that most therapists is qualified to give advice or to be sitting or to have people sitting on a couch about therapy. You may have went through all of the schooling and everything. I think I think it's different when you're talking about things that have variables versus things that's it is what it is. It's factual, right? This is how you do electrical work. This is how you do plumbing. This is how you install HVAC. Man, you ain't gonna tell me that you know 25-year-old therapist and that you're gonna be my motherfucking life coach. You don't know shit. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
Right,
It's
I
different.
but
totally
that's
agree
why
with
that
you.
stuff matters, though.
It's
I don't I don't know if Iyanla has her, uh therapist license, but I would sit down with her in a minute over plenty of therapists that
facts.
I've tried. One therapist I tried to talk to because I was like, this was when I was going through my phase of like I'm trying to rediscover myself and like find time for me and all this stuff. And her advice was kind of like, yeah, you need to just tell your husband that he's gonna have to do this, do that, whatever. And then she went off on this whole tangent, and I learned that she was divorced, that her kids like, and I was like, oh, I can't talk to you like you are not
By
the
by
one,
that
girl.
same You're right, but by that same measure, right? So you got to think though. Ayana, she said she's a life coach, so I wouldn't even worry about it because she's not going to get into the, well, what she says, she doesn't get into the psychological part, right? She's not going to tell you about your, certain things in your brain and blah blah blah, right? So she's just talking strictly on your life. But Ayana, what's her name? Ayana. I want to say it
Yeah.
right because people. Okay, but she has a crazy past, like
Mm-hmm.
a crazy one. So it's kind of what we talking about now. It's like if you look at Ayana, like she messed up her marriage. She did substance abuse. Kids, like so. And you just said you'll listen to her in a minute. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
so is the past really the issue?
No, I don't think that. I think that the past is great. Like experience is a great thing if you really take what I call your gems of wisdom from your
Hmm.
experiences and allow it to be a part of your like your transformation. And to me, a person like Iyanla has demonstrated through her walk that we can see and her conversation that she has progressed from the
She
things
got
she's done.
wisdom. Hmm.
Whereas, like with this counselor that I
Yeah.
had sat with, I almost felt like she was having a flashback moment type of thing. So that's why I said, kind of like what y'all were saying, I think that the credentials parts matters in certain situations, but I definitely think that the experience that you bring and your wisdom from it is far more valuable in general.
But
I
that
think
is probably just trying to keep you mad so you can keep coming back.
I think it's one thing that trumps all that, your credentials and your experience. Like you can have all the experience in the world, your credentials could be through the roof, but if you align yourself a certain way spiritually, you are not fit to guide anybody. Like I'm dead ass about that shit. Like, or you are fit to guide people, you gonna guide them the wrong way. Like, and a lot of people they not gonna agree with that shit. But if you're
Give me
not
an
right
example,
spiritually,
Slimmy. Give me an example.
all right. For instance, like say for somebody who done went through substance abuse, they done went through all this stuff. Then they get they whatever kind of degree to talk to people, be a shrink. Now the thing is though, you able to talk to people. You got this documentation for it, but when you go out and you behind closed doors, you believing in a certain entity that may convey evil spirits. How can you really help somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you really gonna what are you how where are you gonna lead somebody? And that's the thing that people don't realize when you dealing with human beings. Like they might not align with you spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to watch out for who you letting guide you. Because they might be guided by a different force. They might be guided by the wrong type of spirit. They might believe something totally different than you. You gotta do your background, and you gotta get a full understanding of people's background, especially spiritually. I'm not letting no human being just tell me anything. Just like I won't go to anybody's church and just let them preach to me. I'm not gonna let somebody come into my life who may not align with me spiritually. I'm just not gonna do that. But you know, like most people,
Mm-hmm.
they believe in human beings leading them and being like they could make a change. You can make a change for yourself more than this person that's not aligned with you spiritually. I'm gonna be
Well,
very honest.
that's who will make the change anyway, because they can talk about whatever, whatever. It's still up to you.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they could give you some shit that leads you down the completely wrong path. And it
I
sounds
see.
and it
I don't
sounds
know, because
like
I look at it from the aspect that you still have to make the choice, right? You took in the information.
Environment.
Now you're gonna make. That's why I never think it's anybody else's fault.